Welcome to Fans for Fans. I'm Cole. This is Hunter, where we're not experts. We're just fans. All right. So today we're going to talk about a little bit. Just me and Hunter right now. So we're just going to talk about stuff we know. It's basically like a lot of football and a little bit of MMA, and then we might touch other sports that he may know about. So we're going to get started. What's the first subject?
Kirk Cousins. If you were the Redskins, would you trade him?
Oh man, no. If I was Redskins, I would trade RG3. I don't think the mobile quarterback. I think it's a flavor of the month kind of thing. You know.
I agree with you on that, but if I'm the Redskins, I'd trade Kirk Cousins. I think you can get a high price for him. There is so many teams looking for quarterbacks, and he's a pretty good one. You can probably get a second round pick out of him, maybe a third round pick.
Oh yeah.
Probably a third round pick. Do I think the Redskins trade him though? I don't think they do. I think they like that safety blanket they have right now of two startable quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I do agree. You know,
With the flavor of the month thing.
I do agree with mobile quarterbacks. I think it's a fad right now. Like 2 years ago, it was great in the NFL. It really took it that storm. Last year, you didn't see it work out as well. I think people started to figure out how to defend against it.
Oh yeah. They call it on just like the game of the NFL is ever changing now. So you can't just like do one thing for a long time and expect it to work. It's kind of silly, but yeah, man, I just don't know. I think I would keep Kirk Cousins back on my starter. Make a point to my team that I'm gonna put
The best player on the field.
yeah the best player on the field, and well, I don't know. Their new coach may have a plan for them in the draft or in free agency even. Who knows? Like
Their new coach is Jay Gruden, correct?
yeah, yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, I love that guy, dude. I watched the Hard Knocks with him in it. This what was the offseason with the Bengals, dude. Love that guy. I hope he succeeds in the Redskins. I kind of like Mike Shanahan just because he didn't like RG3, or at least it sounded like he didn't like RG3, and I don't like RG3.
I like that he didn't perfectly obey by the rules of Dan Snyder, the owner, because Dan Snyder he's in love with RG3. I mean that's his thing.
Yeah.
But I like that Mike Shanahan didn't.
Didn't bend
Yeah.
over and take it from the. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'd like it. See some stats on Kirk Cousins here. Was it last year he had 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
854 yards though. He played 3 games.
That's pretty good, I guess. I mean, for 3 games.
Yeah, but I mean he had 7 interceptions, that's quite a bit for 3 games. But let's see who he
That's
played
a lot.
against. Atlanta,
Dallas.
not Dallas, and the Giants. Not 3 great teams.
No, definitely not 3 great teams, especially the Dallas and New York with their secondary problems. Well, I think Dallas has the worst secondary out of those 3. What do you think?
Dallas had one of the worst
Defenses
ever. So
yeah. But no, and those were some divisional people they have to beat too. New York Giants and and Dallas. So those are some very important games. But I don't know.
I mean, he played Dallas close there. He lost by a point.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Let's see. So what game did he do better in? He did better in the Atlanta game. He did the best in the Atlanta game. Well, hold on. I don't know.
he still had a pretty good, 58.4 passer
Yeah. Rating?
accuracy.
Oh.
Is pretty good. I mean, that's your usual quarterback has around 60. That's not bad. I mean, he's played 3 games in the NFL. There's a learning curve to it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely a different experience than in college.
Did he? I forgot it was his 3rd season. I didn't know.
Yeah, he was drafted in the 4th round after RG3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same year.
I didn't know that. Where did he play for? Michigan State. I didn't see that. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I actually did know that.
All right, let's see. What's our next topic here?
NFL coaches that are on the hot seat going into next season.
Oh, all right, I got this one. I think any coach for the Cleveland Browns is on the hot seat the day they step in there, just because their front office is so sketchy. I would not want to be a coach there because it just seems like a situation, like a lose-lose situation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I would get along
I
with it.
understand. Like,
Are
they got their work cut out for them.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the current head coach? Mike Patini?
Let me see.
Isn't he the defensive coordinator at the
Yeah,
Bills?
Mike Patine.
He did a pretty good job at the Bills. He didn't have much to go with. He recently got Mario Williams,
Yeah.
which is
Joe Spurd.
yeah.
I don't know. He's like I said, he's got his work cut out for him. It's the Browns, and I don't know. They haven't made very good, choices in the past. But sometimes it works out for him. Most of the time, it doesn't.
As we noticed with the Browns trying to get a head coach this offseason, they went through a lot of options.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he was probably their fifth option. They obviously went after Wisenhunt. They went after Jay Gruden. They went after Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
They went after several other guys that landed better jobs. And I feel like they settled for what they could get, and they're probably not going to be happy with him.
I liked, to me, in my opinion, they had the most attractive offer for a head coach. I mean, they had all these promising players plus a good draft class and good free agency, and some cap space too. But they also had a very iffy front office. So
yeah, Haslam, the owner, is. I'm not sure if he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's fired a lot of people recently.
What did he do? Didn't they change the front office a little bit? And
They fired
some.
the GM and the president, I do believe.
I
could be wrong saying this.
All right. Well, you said to me before we started that you think Mike Smith for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes. Atlanta Falcons have a good team.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They have a great team there.
Some of the
There
best
is no reason
weapons.
they should be picking sixth in the NFL draft right now.
Oh yeah.
There is no reason at all. Something's got to be done. There's got to be a change made.
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't do well this season, I think there's got to be a change made in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, because they got great receivers.
Yeah.
Like top of the line receivers. They got
Matt Ryan.
They got some good pieces on offense. I'm not really 100% sure on their defense, but
Their defense, it got worse from the season they went 13-3. It got worse, but I don't think it went from 13-3 to
6th in the NFL draft.
yes.
All right, I got you. Let's see. I was just thinking about this one. What about the Vikings head coach? We were talking about this before.
They,
How they have
recently just got a new one.
Oh, okay. All right, got you. Well, my
So,
bad.
I don't think he's on the hot seat yet. Joe
Zimmer?
Philbin.
Oh, Joe Philbin. We were talking about him.
Joe Philbin.
Oh yeah, the recent fiasco. I don't know if that would. If I was Joe Philbin, you could play it either two ways. You can admit it and say you're sorry, and that it won't ever happen again, or you can admit it and just be like, well, we play football. We're not here to have divas on our team.
Yeah.
And I think he did the first kind, which I probably would have done the second kind, but I wasn't in that situation, so I don't know 100%. But I don't know, man. It could, especially with they have a very good quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. He's very underrated. I think he had a better season than Russell Wilson, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. I want to say number 7 quarterback in yards, touchdowns. I want to say he was a top 10 quarterback last season.
Let's see. Look it up. But yeah, I think he was also the most sacked.
He was there. With the fiasco they had, I think
offensive line.
their offensive line troubles. They're really going to have to fix that in the draft because it looks like they're going to be losing Jonathan Martin and Richie Incognito.
Oh yeah, and they might even give out some sort of punishment to Mike Pouncey.
Oh, you're
which
correct.
would not be good because that's they're basically their star offensive lineman now.
Yeah.
If they get rid of Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin, let's see.
I think it really hurts them. Joe Philbin, I think he's a great guy, but I don't know if he's necessarily that good of a head coach. Like,
Yeah.
he's had some struggles. Like, the Dolphins have a really solid defense. You know, Cameron Wake,
Deion Jordan.
Deion Jordan. They've added some good pieces, but it just hasn't come together. And I think another head coach could make him glue better. Also, there's been rumors that the Dolphins are trying to get Jim Harbaugh from the 49ers to come on over.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
What about that craziness, man?
I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, I don't know what's it like. Like all I get is these updates that say he's getting like they're getting pissed off at each other. Like what's
Yeah.
going on, man?
Apparently, him and the president and the GM are not on the same page. They're colliding, and they haven't come to an extension yet. So
Yeah.
he may be possibly getting traded to another team or signing on to another team
Yeah,
or
I mean-
doing something.
I would think after 2 years of coming really close to the Super Bowl and 2 years ago they were in the Super Bowl
Yeah,
and they lost, and I think they were the better team honestly in that game.
they were the better team on paper, but the Ravens played a better game.
Yeah. And then last year, I just had, coming into the season, I had so much hype for them. I was ready for the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. I thought that they would want it more because they were there and they lost. And it was such a heartbreaking loss. They could have beat the Ravens, in my opinion, fairly easy. But I don't know what exactly happened. I guess it's a thing of football. You can be beaten any given day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the term any given Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I really like a lot of the players on the 49ers. Like, I love Patrick Willis, love Navarro Bowen, I love Justin Smith and Alden Smith and Anquan Bolden, which he's going to be traded. Or he's a free
I think
agent.
he's coming back. I do believe he's coming back.
yeah?
We'll get more on free agents here in a few moments.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Let's get back to topic.
Who else?
Let's hop over to NFL quarterbacks that are on the hot seat.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Go ahead. What's your top one here?
Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Geno Smith had a terrible season last season. There's no
getting around it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't cover it up. He had a terrible season. Do I think he'll get better? Probably. I think he's going to have some competition this
There's
offseason.
not much way you can get worse.
I-
they're bringing in
Michael Vick is probably coming to
if
the
they
Jets.
bring in Vic, dude.
I'm full-heartedly with Michael Vick coming in. I think he's coming in.
I would hope that they would bring him in because he's a young quarterback, or he's not a young. He came in, he was controversial when he played in Atlanta, so I think he could help Geno Smith a little bit, but
Geno Smith is hurt because he is in probably the biggest spotlight in the NFL. I would say the Jets is probably one of the most.
I know
They're under a magnifying glass. Everything they do is just
it's
blown out
scrutinized
of-
and criticized so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
because honestly, in my opinion, I do not like the Jets, and when they picked D. Milner, I felt bad for D. Milner's. I felt bad because unless he gets traded, he's not going to be. Because he just came out of Revis town. You just came. You just went into Darrelle Revis's home, and everyone's going to compare you to Darrelle Revis. And no matter how good you play, you're not going to be as good as Darrelle Revis is.
Yeah.
As last year when it's your rookie season. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
they put him in such a bad spot. And I mean, he did all right. He got better towards the end of the season, but still, it's just I don't know, man.
He's going to have a tough time because he's already has that label of not that great of a quarterback. It's already
yeah.
on him. So it's going to be hard for him to overcome that. And Michael Vick coming into the situation, he's going to push really hard on Geno Smith. And if Geno Smith can overcome it, he will be a pretty good player. But I don't see him overcoming it. I think he's looking for a new job next year.
All right, let's see. My quarterback with the biggest or in the hot seat would have to be Sam Bradford.
I have to agree.
He didn't he have an injury last year?
I do believe
And
he
they
tore
brought
his
in Clinton,
ACL.
and they brought in that
Kellen
fire.
Clemens?
Yes, dude. Oh my gosh, last year was a freaking crazy year for for second string quarterbacks,
Yeah.
man. And let's see, man. Sam Bradford, I think he was having like an average NFL career before he got injured. He wasn't really that spectacular.
He's been, a top 15 quarterback, but he hasn't brought the Rams over the hump yet. Like,
oh yeah, and they're a young team, but they're
progressing.
Oh yeah, like they got Tavon Austin. He was wild this year, man.
Yeah,
And then are they? You think they're going to get rid of Cortland Finnegan? I heard he might
think
be a
he
cap
will.
casualty.
he's going to be. We'll talk more about that later.
All right, let's see.
But they have the best defensive end duo out there right now. Jake Long,
and Robert Quinn.
yes,
I do not disagree with you. I don't know if they're the best.
I think they're the best.
But they're up there. They're second, or I don't know if they're the best or not. I wouldn't. We'll discuss this next year if they're the best or not. If Jadeveon Clowney goes to the Houston Texans, because that would be freaking retarded scary.
I have to agree with you there.
Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt.
That's
oh my gosh, the wingspan of a pterodactyl. They just asked Jadeveon Clowney, "What's your wingspan?" He said pterodactyl. That's all that happened, and they're like, "Okay, we're just gonna put down some wild number."
That's awesome.
Let's see. Oh man. Let's see. I want to look up some more quarterbacks that. All right, let's go to the next topic instead.
The combine.
Okay, here we go. I like this. All right,
All right. Biggest disappointment.
Biggest disappointment. For me.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I heard Lewis Nix, or however you say, the third from Notre Dame. I heard he was kind of disappointing. But also I heard, a lot of stuff about Johnny Manziel, not performing to the best of his, as everyone says he is like he's a crazy athlete, but he doesn't have crazy speed. And I don't know if there was really a super disappointing, except for Michael Sam, like with the big story that he had, it kind of took away from the fact that he's just an average player and he doesn't put out that great numbers, and he really didn't put out that great numbers.
I was reading some statistics this morning. Over the last 3 years, they've been combining numbers and giving people a single number score based on all of their workouts at the draft, and he was actually in the bottom 3/4 of defensive linemen that have went through the combine based on his numbers.
Let's see.
Which he had a pretty bad time on the 40, 4.9, I do believe.
Oh yeah, he's
bad.
He's not that big either for a defensive end.
What, 6'1", 260? That's not that big for a defensive end.
No,
and he doesn't have
basically
speed.
my size. Maybe an inch taller than me and 10 pounds heavier. That's literally my size.
Yeah, and y'all have a similar speed. You're a little bit slower than that.
Oh, a little bit slower, dude. Like freaking 5'4", bro. It's my fastest. Get off me. But no, let's see. What was your most disappointing?
C-Strunk.
Uh-huh.
He talked up a big game, said he was going to run a sub 4.3. He ran like a 4.51.
Man.
I was disappointed. I was expecting to look at the numbers, see a 4.3, somewhere in that range, and I seen a 4.5. I was disappointed.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you my most disappointing. He didn't even work out. That's what pissed me off was D Ford from Auburn.
Yes.
He was talking all this crap about Jadeveon Clowney. Thought he was going to be better than him.
They found a medical.
Yeah, I heard about that, but still, it's garbage.
Another person that really disappointed me was Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what he would do.
Especially putting on that extra weight that he needed,
I feel like he'll lose it, and then he'll lose it for his pro day.
His pro day run. Yeah. That's what I thought of all. Oh, my goodness. I'm already going to put this out there because I'm an Alabama fan, but I have to put this out there. Cyrus Kwanjo's draft his combine was not good.
I think he went from a fringe first round pick to maybe a second, third round pick, late second.
But that's why I'm glad there's still pro days, because they can do way better in their pro days instead of on the combine. Which I don't think Alabama players are known. Well, I take that back, but they play through the season sometimes with the injuries that they shouldn't do because they want to make it through the season, and that system is kind of like a system where you go no matter what. You play for your team. You don't play for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that could hurt players' stock.
I think that hurts
Barrett Jones. It hurt Barrett Jones' stock. I think he could be just as good as Travis Frederick. And Travis Frederick was a freaking balling pick in my opinion. I hated the pick when I first saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
what are the Cowboys doing picking Travis Frederick? I haven't heard of him all year, and he beasts.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Or my most surprising, my most surprising combine, I was gonna say would have to be Aaron Donald. I think that's his name.
Yes.
From Pitt. He's a short nose tackle, and I just kept hearing all these good things about him, and that he's a beast. Let's see. What was your thing?
Taylor Lewin from Michigan, offensive
Oh yeah,
tackle.
yeah. I did not think he was going to be as athletic as he was. Like as fast
He was
as
super
lineman.
athletic compared to what I thought. I honestly expected the guy out of Auburn, whose name escapes me right now,
Wait. What are we talking about? What position?
offensive tackle out of Auburn.
Oh, Greg Robinson.
Greg Robinson.
a beast.
He's a beast.
Oh,
I expected him to blow the combine
Yeah,
out, put himself
I
away
expect
from
him to be
everybody
the
else.
best, no matter
Taylor
what.
Lewin
Just-
ran faster than him.
That's crazy.
I did not see it coming.
Yo, I thought Greg Robinson was going to make everyone else look way stupider.
Yeah. And honestly, Jake Matthews surprised me too. Like, he ran like a 5'1",
He's beast.
somewhere around a 5'1". I did not expect him to be that fast. He showed that he's still an athlete and that he is, possibly the top tackle. I think those three they're in a race to prove who's the top tackle taken. And honestly, I'd love to see any of them land on the Titans. So your most surprising player was Aaron Donald?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's see what who's this guy? Phil Savage, for the former Cleveland Browns general manager, said that quote, everybody was buzzing about Aaron Donald. Aaron ran a sub 4.7, benched a ton of reps, jumped over 30 inches, terrific in drills. I think he was seen previously as a player that was seen as probably a back half of the first round. I think now you're looking at a player who could conceivably go in the top 15 come May. That's that's a former general manager for an NFL team saying that about a player who, who's like a dark horse for the Heisman, in that, but they just throw in a defensive player every year. I heard some people say, Aaron Donald, look at him, and everyone was thinking he's a little too short, but he's a beast, man. He's pretty good. I like what I seen from his drills and stuff.
I find it strange. This is a little off topic, but I've probably heard 30 players called a lock for top 15. That's how deep the draft is this year.
Oh yeah, it's a lot bigger. And what do you think position is the deepest? Like wide receiver and
Wide receiver is really deep.
tackle.
I think offensive tackle is. I think there's 10 offensive tackles that'll come out of this draft that probably end up starting.
God, that's crazy to think about.
I had the three we talked about. You got Moses Morgan, Tiny Richardson, the other tackle from Tennessee, who I should know his name, but I forget it right now.
You're a horrible Tennessee fan.
I know. Cyrus Kwanjo.
Yeah, I hate that he had a bad combine. It
Yeah.
still kind of irks me.
All right.
Well,
Let's move on to players that have been franchise tagged at this date right now.
okay, so to this date, players have been franchise tagged: Jimmy Graham, Greg Hardy, and
Nick Folk.
Nick Folk. All right, so I know the Jimmy Graham's the big one. Everyone
Yeah.
loves Jimmy Graham. He's freaking beast when it comes to tight ends. I think some wild statistic I was reading in one of the ESPN magazines. They have the analytics.
Yeah.
Basically, you can manipulate stats to say anything you want, but they said Tony Gonzalez was one of the best tight ends of all time. I think Jimmy Graham, if he stays in the league as long as Tony Gonzalez, will no doubt be the best tight end.
I agree. I feel like it's sort of a race between him and Gronk, but Gronk is having so many injury problems. I think it's hard for him
I think
to.
I think Gronk has maybe, just call me stupid, but I think he has maybe 2 years at most left.
Yeah,
If he keeps getting injured like he is, he's going to get dropped by the Patriots. When the end of his season's over, he's done. They're going to drop him. Because, I mean, the Patriots are like that, man. They're a selfish team. Just look at Wes Welker. Wes Welker hurt himself, had so many concussions going across the middle for Bill Belichick, and then when he goes to another team and does the same thing for another team, Bill Belichick hates him. It's ridiculous, man. I know the Patriots are a good team. They have great coaching staff. Bill Belichick is freaking a genius, but
I agree. They play to win.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do to be a successful NFL head coach. Do I agree with some of their policies? Not always, but
yeah.
that's how you win. Greg Hardy, that's a great franchise tag. He's a beast. He had a great year for Carolina. I think he really.
Oh God.
He was one of the leaders on that team. I think Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, dude.
I can never pronounce his name right.
Dude, he was
he's
a
the-
beast this year,
Yeah,
man.
I think Greg Hardy and him are a solid duo
Oh God,
to
yes, man.
lead a defense.
Dude, they did do good this year, man. They had oh man, dude, they made a run like beginning of the year. You know, you always think about offenses, and I thought, man, Cam Newton. I always knew he'd be a solid player and he's going to be a good player, but you didn't really think about the Carolina. I honestly, I'm not a Carolina fan or anything, so I didn't really think about the Carolina Panthers defense. But goodness gracious, they showed me because they did play some beast football these past couple weeks or the past season at least. And let's see some not career stats. See, this year he had 59 tackles and 15 sacks,
Which is a lot of sacks.
Yeah,
That's
let's see, what's the record for a season? You think it's like 20?
I think 23, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think it's 23 too.
That's a good solid season for a defensive end, and that calls to be franchise tagged.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you said it. He's been added. Luke Kuechly has been added to his team, so he's going to have a great defensive mind to help him. Just like Baltimore Ravens. When you think of Ray Lewis, you think of Ed Reed. You don't think of just Ray Lewis by himself. You know what I mean? You don't. You got to have someone else to help you out. Just like a Warren Sapp, you think of what's his? Those man, he had like another.
Dontavius Poe?
I think so. No, it was a I don't know.
I could be wrong.
It was a fullback or not a fullback. It was a safety and a whatever. Anyway, moving on. Nick Folk. Let's see. He was the was he the
He's a kicker. I don't know too much about Nick Folk.
Oh my God!
I don't really agree.
No,
with,
he plays for the Eagles, right?
He plays for the Jets.
Shut up. It's one of them green teams. I had him on my
Fantasy.
my
team.
fantasy, dude. Yeah, dude. He gets me points, man. I'd tag him just because.
I mean, I don't really agree with.
I don't know if
kickers
I
being
franchise tagged. I think if you franchise tag a kicker, any kicker, it'd have to be Vinatieri.
I agree with that.
I think Vinatieri is a Hall of Fame kicker.
He is a Hall of Fame kicker. He will be there.
Oh,
he's been
no
in the
doubt.
league 15 years, I think.
Didn't he win the Patriots Super Bowl?
He did.
He's a boss. He's a boss.
All right. Moving on. We're gonna talk about Manziel.
Oh,
And
God, I love Manziel.
we're gonna. We know Cole loves Manziel. If you watch our last episode, you'll know that.
I mean, Manziel is my kind of guy. He plays sports and then he goes out and gets freaking turned up all the days. All the days.
I don't understand some of the criticism. We were talking about disappointments from the combine. I honestly was surprised. I did not expect him to be the fastest quarterback,
He wasn't a fast.
like top.
Oh,
rated.
top quarterback. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like Logan Thomas and the quarterback from Miami, were both faster, but he's top ranked.
Yeah, he's one of the. You would think Blake Bortles and all them would be, would be as high as him. But see, when everyone says he's a crazy athlete, you're expecting crazy numbers. But
Yeah.
that doesn't always, translate. Plus, he still has a pro day, so he probably will do better at his pro day, hopefully. And I think, oh man, you were talking about it today. You and Pusser were texting me about it today about the. Oh, he's changed. And I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he said, how can you buy that he's changed? That he says he's just a simple guy from a simple, small town. Like, that doesn't even make any sense because he's from, oil money. It's like, oh my gosh, Johnny Manziel's playing everyone. He's just trying to get it. He's just trying to get an NFL contract.
I have to agree. I think he's matured some. I think
he's always known that his actions, partying and stuff, belong in college. And now that he's out of college, he's gonna make money. He likes the challenge. He's tired of, he didn't. I think he knew that he wasn't gonna complete anything else in college. He wasn't gonna get an SEC championship, especially with his team's defense. He wasn't gonna get even a national championship with his team's defense or anything. And he understood that, so he decided that he'd move on, which I don't think is a bad thing. Christian Push said it was a horrible thing.
We were arguing through text the other day that
Johnny Manziel, oh my gosh, Puzzler hates Johnny Manziel for no reason. I think, and he's just like, well, he just decided to leave his team and all that. And then Ben, with the greatest text ever, said, oh, so Peyton Manning... So it's okay if Peyton Manning leaves or something like that. And I was just like, oh, if you throw something Peyton Manning did wrong in Puster's face, it shuts down all
Peyton Manning actually played his senior season, though. So Ben's take was unwarranted. But like I told Pusser, 80 players, somewhere around 80 players, left their college team early to play in the NFL or have a chance at playing in the NFL. And are all those teams leaving their teams behind? Yes, to some extent.
Yeah.
But there's only so much you can do in college.
Oh, yeah.
Did Manziel have a chance at winning the SEC championship? Yes. He had some sort of a chance. But honestly, every year a team from the SEC, any team from the SEC has a chance at winning the
national championship. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think the SEC championship has just become such a... it's a toss-up. You never really know.
Yeah, like...
You could lose one game and be out, like Alabama did. They lost one game to Auburn, and Auburn was in.
Yeah, Auburn, they were a terrible team. Then they come back and be one of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah, who knows? The SEC is so unpredictable. That's why I love that. I love it, man.
Like Missouri, they were... a 6-6 team. They come back. They're they make it to the SEC championship. Did you expect that the year before? Not at all.
No way.
I mean,
in my mind, I thought that was the worst thing. I thought that was the worst team you could have brought into the SEC, Missouri. In my opinion, I thought you could have brought West Virginia in and they would be better.
Okay. Why we didn't bring West Virginia in?
Tell me.
Money.
What do you mean?
Money. Okay. Missouri. Look at Missouri. You see how big Missouri is. You got St. Louis. You got Kansas City.
Yeah, I got you.
Huge cities.
I mean, I just... Honestly, in my opinion, I'm kind of biased because I like West Virginia more. But I also... I don't know, man. I just didn't think Missouri would be good.
West Virginia has like 800,000 TVs. Under 1 million. They're one of the lowest population states in the United States.
Hey, man, they like ginseng.
So?
Oh, my God. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to another topic. I lost you with that joke over there. So.
Jim Harbaugh. What do you think of his...
We already talked about that.
We could talk more about it. What do you think about his situation?
I just think it's silly, man. I don't know if the 49ers should never get rid of him. Make him happy. Make him...
I have to agree. He's brought you closer to
a championship.
Super Bowl.
Oh God, yes.
And the last 10 years and anybody else. You're going to regret it if you send him to another team.
Oh yeah. I just think that he's just one of those aggressive guys. He goes after what he wants, and he doesn't always really, watch what he says. But I mean, I like that brashness in a coach, because it shows his team that he's ready to win. He's ready to talk all the crap, but he's also ready to back it up. I think that would fire up a young team like like St. Louis Rams or something.
Or the Dolphins. I mean,
yeah,
and that's a legitimate place he could go.
Yeah,
which I wouldn't mind seeing him play for or be a head coach of the Dolphins. I mean, they honestly need a difference there. Like, they need somebody to turn them around. And
oh yeah,
I think he could have done a better job of the Richie Incognito situation. I think he could have,
no doubt,
done better. But let's hop over to some MMA.
Yeah, dude. Let's talk about some mixed martial arts. Loving it. All right. First of all, you want to talk about last night, this morning kind of thing. It was the Ultimate Fighter China, and it was a lot of fighters, a lot of Chinese fighters, and I heard it was a battle. I didn't get to watch it, obviously, but I heard it was big. It was a battle. And I'm kind of interested to see Chinese fighters in the UFC, because traditionally they don't have that. They're not as big superstars as Americans or Brazilians.
Yeah.
I think in my opinion, the best fighters in the UFC, with the most fighters in the UFC, would be America or Brazil, and I know Canada's got some good fighters in the UFC, and so do other
Mexico
countries.
does.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I forgot about freaking Cain Velasquez, the beastest freaking heavyweight ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I don't like him, but
Oh, dude, he's beast. I love him. He's Mexican. Anyway, here we go. We're talking about Vitor Belfort getting replaced by Lyoto Machida in the. Oh man, I'm excited for this fight. I've loved Lyoto Machida before he was in the UFC. God, I loved him, man. His style is just so unique that not many people can snuff his style, and I like that he's fighting Chris Weidman. And
it's Lyoto Machida comes from a karate background,
Yeah.
which is real unusual for a UFC fighter. Pretty much all of them come from either a wrestling background
Jiu-jitsu.
or a jiu-jitsu.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Yeah,
Boxing,
you see
something like that.
very few Muay Thai.
But
That's a style I love to see. There's very few of those.
I like to see, honestly, I love to see Jiu-Jitsu. I think that's why Ronda Rousey's so beast right now. Like, I thought she was just a one-trick pony with the
Wrestling.
and the arm bars she got, but then I knew she had some potential, because I'd watched some things that she got around the arm bar. You know how people block regular arm bars? She got around those countermeasures, and I saw how she started, when she TKO'd Sarah McMahon. That's when I know she's the real deal. She's the one. She's I don't really necessarily like her attitude, but she can act however she wants. She's a beast.
Yeah, but Lyoto Machida and Chris Weidman, that's a fight I honestly want to see.
Yes.
I know last episode I said I don't really care to watch the UFC much anymore.
Yeah.
But that's honestly a fight that has piqued my interest.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad that Vitor Belfort didn't get kicked out of the UFC. So he also said that after this fight, he's going to fight the winner of the.
Yeah.
So I know Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman beat Anderson Silva. I don't know if the first fight should have ended the way it should have ended, because Anderson Silva was acting like he was acting. But the second fight, I wish it would have ended with a more definitive end.
Yeah.
Wish it would have ended with a knockout or a submission, or even if it was a dominant performance, or it was a back and forth war. But it should not have been like that. It should not have ended like that.
That's just a freak way to end the fight.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially for Anderson Silva. When some people said to me after Anderson Silva's done fighting, I just looked at him and said, "You're crazy. There's no way he's quitting now. He's lost twice. He's actually lost 3 times. Even one time he got DQ'd by kneeing someone in the head."
Give me a second. I know who that was.
and he beat him. He beat him again. It was Yushin Okami.
Yes,
It was
you're
Yushin
right.
Okami.
You're correct.
And see,
He also lost to another guy, who doesn't fight in the UFC. I have no idea what his name is, but
I
I
look his
watched
name
it,
up.
and that was a raw, just an insane way to beat Silva. It was like he like jumped and wrapped around his face and
I don't
armbarred
know.
him. I don't know his name, but it was.
I'm gonna look up his name. Let's see. We're also gonna talk about the Gilbert Melendez situation. You know, Gilbert Melendez was talking about going to Bellator. I guess it kind of pissed Dana White off, so he laid a better contract out there to where the Ultimate Fighter 20 season will be Anthony Pettis and Gilbert Melendez, which I'm so excited to see because I love Anthony Pettis. He's a freaking beast. I'm glad he beat Benson Henderson again, and he beat him. He finished him in a different finish. It wasn't just a knockout this time. It was a submission. And
The last time he knocked him out was with that Showtime kick, correct?
oh yeah, dude, that freaking boss kick off the cage. Heck yeah. And then what was I looking up? I also like that they're putting Gilbert Melendez as this top lightweight. He's the best lightweight, and then he comes in and who did he fight his first fight? He fought crap, I forgot.
I have no clue.
But anyway, he fought Diego Sanchez, and that was a war. I heard that was Diego Sanchez is freaking
Yeah. I mean, I watched Diego Sanchez versus BJ Penn back in I think it was 107. And they had a war. He got whooped by BJ Penn, but it was still a war.
Yeah, Diego Sanchez never
And
gives
Diego
up.
Sanchez versus Clay Guida.
Oh,
God. That was probably one of the best fights I've
Both
ever
fighters who never quit.
Yeah.
Never quit. And then I also want to see, dear God. And also want to talk about Rampage Jackson's fight last night. It looks like Rampage Jackson is just owning everything in Bellator. Like I want to say this out loud because I know he hated the UFC. And his last 3 or 4 fights in the UFC were
He didn't give a shit.
yeah, that's what I think. I think he just lost them. He trained for him, but he didn't really care enough to win or lose because he just wanted out of the contract. He just wanted to get out of the UFC because he didn't like Dana White, he didn't like the organization. And now that he's in Bellator and he feels like he's appreciated, I feel like he likes being there and that he puts forth more effort in his training and fighting. And I think it shows. A first round knockout of his second fight, and I think his first fight was a first round knockout. And I'm not sure if it was against Czech Congo or not, but I think it was. Or they're supposed to fight, and he got injured or something. But yeah, I like Rampage Jackson. I mean, he's from Memphis. He's from Tennessee. So
Yeah.
I always like him, man. He's gonna be one of my guys forever until he retires from the sport. But yeah, I've always liked him.
Yeah. All right, we're going to hop over to some NBA right now.
Okay.
Cole doesn't know too much about the NBA, but
Yeah.
I know a little bit. I do know that the Pacers recently made a trade. They traded Danny Granger for Evan Turner and LaVoy Allen, I do believe. I could be wrong. I do believe that was one of the best trades we've seen this year.
I heard all these things about Danny Granger may not be like a top player anymore, but you think he can contribute to the Clippers? Is that where he went?
He's going to be signed by the Clippers, they do believe.
Okay.
He got cut by the 76ers, as you may have already told. But I think he'll sign with the Clippers, and I think he'll better their team to make it through the West. The West is going to be rough. And another move I really love is Caron Butler being signed by the Thunder. The Thunder only get deeper. I think they're the best team in the West, but there's plenty of good teams in the West. The Warriors, the Clippers, there's several out there.
I just want to go ahead and point out that 29 minutes ago, or 30 minutes ago, I got an update that the Grizzlies beat the Cavaliers.
That's not saying much.
I know, but hey.
The Grizzlies are a fringe team. They're most people around here's favorite team.
Yeah,
And
I just like him because we have a thug on our team. His name's Zach Randolph, and that's just what I love because he's a freaking gangster and he freaking fights whatever that guy's name is, Blake Griffin.
every time, I'll beat your ass.
I'll beat your ass. That's what I like to hear.
Yep. I think that'll be all for this episode.
Yeah.
Next week we'll have Ben and Pusser back.
And hopefully we'll talk about more topics and more sports other than NFL and MMA.
Just a sneak peek. We're going to talk about what?
We're gonna trash talk Colin Kaepernick and make Ben feel bad because Ben is the only person in our group that cares about Colin Kaepernick's future. Others do not because he is horrible.
Thank you for listening to Fans Friends.